My name's Christine Ania. I'm a candidate for supervisor here in District 10 in San Francisco. Our campaign has gotten a lot of respect across the city, and especially some of the creative ideas that we've come up with. You know, there wasn't a candidate forum that took place where at least one of the other candidates didn't say, "I agree with Christine." So that makes me feel really good, and I think my team is really proud of the work that we've done. The 3rd Street Town Center is really important to me, and I have a lot of specific ideas about what we can do there, and that's really where I think I would start. So, you know, we have the Bayview Opera House. It's a historic building, and it needs a lot of repair. It needs some structural work, and I really would want to start pushing the city, the owner of the building, to get that fixed up and make sure we allocate the funds properly to do that, because I think it could be the heart of a revitalized Bayview Town Center. The other thing that I want to do with the Town Center is to create a historic district. Now, the redevelopment agency is required to assess all the architectural history of the entire Bayview redevelopment project area. So they've already done all the paperwork, and all we need to do is really just identify what the boundaries of a historic district would be, and we go file for it. And what that would do is let us say exactly what kind of businesses and shops we do want there, and that would really, I think, lend a lot of character, celebrate our cultural history, and start to make Bayview Town Center a place where people come from all over the city to see, and would also attract back some of the people who have left Bayview. This is more than just theory for me. Actually, the neighborhood I live in, it's called India Basin. It's a pocket subset of Hunters Point. And our census tract is the poorest in the entire city. And yet all we have is so-called affordable housing. We have Section 8 housing, we have public housing projects, and what does the city and redevelopment want to do? All they talk about is building more housing. Now, I don't see how a new house for somebody, even if it's supposedly affordable, is going to help somebody who's already here. So what we've been trying to do is make sure that we set aside enough land for income-generating uses like restaurants, a pet food store, a bookstore, a cafe, a movie theater, you know, places where kids who live on the hill up in Hunter's View can get a job and get a good entry-level job. You know, construction jobs are good. We have to have jobs that will last beyond the time the construction is done. So it actually takes more workers to build a restaurant, so let's build a couple restaurants and bring the jobs to the people. I think not just jobs, but opportunities to own a piece of land. Let's say build a building, live in one of the units, and sell the other two. You know, that's how most of this city was built. If you go look at the way the Sunset was built, the city built all the streets and the sidewalks, and they put all the electricity and the plumbing in, and then local contractors got to build 1 lot or 2 lots at a time. And that's how we can really revitalize this neighborhood. You know, we have more contractors here than anywhere else in the city, and we know how to build things. And if we have our buildings done on a smaller scale, then those builders will go to the local window store, and that's where they'll get their windows and their doors and their other supplies. So to me, it's everything local. Shop local, build local, buy local, hire local. It's really hard to stay informed unless you physically show up at a meeting. There's not a robust communications network. But here we are in the heart of technological innovation. Lots of people have video cameras, lots of people use email and internet. I think there's a lot more we could do to get people connected online through Facebook or through just a physical network of communication. So let's say we have 35 drop-off points in the neighborhood. So everybody starts to know, well, hey, if I want to know what's coming up, what meetings I need to go to, I can go to Job Valencia and look at the community bulletin board. Or I could go to my neighborhood park, and there's going to be a bulletin board in that park that will let me know, hey, there's a meeting coming up about this park, and whether or not you want to have disc golf at your park. And then you can go and offer your opinion. And then I would also come out and have more meetings in the community. You know, I've talked to people who've held the supervisor office. They said there's never enough time in the day, but I think it's so important to make sure that you're present within your district and listening to people. And that's, I know where I get my best ideas, is from listening to people and then synthesizing things together in a way that will work. My professional background, I'm a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for 17 years, and I'm also most of that time been in business law. And then about 2001, I quit my corporate job and I did some traveling. Came back with this dog who's just off screen here. And I really enjoyed meeting people from different cultures and seeing parts of the world that were entirely new to me. Actually, part of that, most of the trip was I drove myself from San Francisco through Mexico and Central America to Panama and back. But I took a detour, came back and flew over to Spain and Morocco. So saw a little bit of Africa, which was exciting to me. And you know, I see the commonalities in people, and I think that's one thing that I bring to this campaign is, you know, I'm looking for common ground, and I'm looking for ways that we can get to know each other better and build on our commonalities and our common interests. I think everybody, no matter what income, no matter what ethnic background, wants to have safe neighborhoods, great schools for their kids, and, you know, a shot at the American dream. So we got to create that opportunity for everybody. Things that are affecting the district as a whole affect me personally, so I'm invested, I'm with you. I hope you'll vote for me.
I'm Steve Moss, and I'm running for the District 10 Board of Supervisors right now. Well, you know, I've been walking District 10 for almost a year now, and I feel like I've walked on more doors than any other candidate. I'm still knocking on doors today, and I get the sense that I'm one of a handful of candidates who have a chance of winning this election. If people come out and vote for me tomorrow, obviously I'm going to win. Well, I think the #1 issue in Bayview is jobs, and jobs can happen in a lot of different ways, whether it's kind of recreating 3rd Street so that it's more effective, so that there are shops people want to go to and spend money and create jobs that way, or whether it's through creating sustainable, environmentally quality development all throughout the district. I think there's lots of opportunities. The wholesale produce mart can be a node for food production. We can bring home our school lunch money so that it's spent in this neighborhood and people can be employed to do that. So there's a host of opportunities. We need to seize those opportunities to create employment for people here in Bayview, which, by the way, I've been doing for 10 years. Well, you know, as I sort of just mentioned, I've been creating jobs here. I'm a guy who gets things done. I founded a nonprofit 10 years ago, helped close down the Hunters Point power plant, is going to help close the Potrero power plant hopefully this year. And along the way, we helped thousands of people reduce their utility bills, their energy and water bills, hiring people from the community to do that work. So I've been dedicated to helping Bayview, Hunters Point, and District 10 thrive for 10 years. And I've been successful, and I've tried to do, and I think I'll be successful as a supervisor. Another thing I do is I'm a newspaper man. I publish the Potrero Review. I took that paper over 5 years ago. It's San Francisco's longest running neighborhood newspaper. I'm all about transparency and information. And I think there's a couple of ways of making sure communication goes well. One is that we need a District 10 council. You know, we need folks like you. We need folks, you know, who are watching this. We need people throughout the district to be able to gather together and not just meet and talk, but meet and talk and have actual result in action. Because I think what turns people off is they meet and they talk and they plan, and then 10 years later, nothing's changed. And the important thing is to make sure we link citizen activism with actual results. And I would make sure that would happen. And then beyond that, as a newspaper man, I would definitely put out periodic, monthly, or even more than that, information sources so people can see exactly what I'm doing, not just on the web, but in print form, bringing it to people's homes so they have access to that information. Well, so, as I say, I'm a guy who gets things done, and I think we know that in this district there's a history of things not happening. Promises being made, promises not being kept. For the last 10 years, whatever I've set out to do, I've accomplished, whether it's helping to close the Hunters Point plant, helping to close the Potrero power plant, employing people from the community, lowering people's utility bills, or taking over a neighborhood newspaper that was a little wobbly and making sure that it thrived, which it is now. So you can count on me to make sure that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to make it happen. Please vote for me tomorrow. I'd appreciate it.